You want to hear some good news?
Yeah.
Okay. President Biden raised over $97 million for his reelection effort in the final 3 months of 2023.
Yeah.
His campaign announced that on Monday morning. It's Biden's strongest fundraising quarter yet, and he enters an election year with $117 million cash on hand, likely to give him an advantage over his potential Republican rival. The Biden team spent 73% of the money it raised in the fourth quarter, slightly lower than the 80% burn rate in the third quarter. Trump raised $154 million in the fourth quarter of 2019 and had $195 million cash on hand going into 2020. In the fourth quarter of 2011, Obama raised $68 million and had $81 million in the bank at the beginning of 2012. So Biden is significantly outraising Barack Obama, which, and I'll tell you what my opinion is as to why that's a big deal, is because to me, you can look at all the polls you want to, and you can get suckered by all these polls that Joe Biden and either Donald Trump are tied, or Donald Trump is trouncing him, or Donald Trump has got the edge. These are real numbers. These are numbers that are saying we are giving to Joe Biden, and I can almost guarantee that if he is outraising Barack Obama by this amount, that these are not all Democrats giving him this money. These are people who are either independents or people who want nothing to do with Donald Trump being the president of the United States. That's at least my guess. And I think that that is a very positive sign. I don't know if you saw too that Pennsylvania, their recent polls had Joe Biden leading by 4 and had him leading significantly. I want to say by 7 points with people over 60 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was either in Pennsylvania or Michigan, one of the two. But here's my assessment, at least. And, you know, there are people who know way more about this than I do, but just my blind eye assessment here is that the fact that they are raising so much money right now in a time where America feels as if we are on the brink of losing our democracy, that this tells me that a lot of people are taking this serious. That's number one. Number two, we still haven't even factored in the Republicans and the independents who say, I will lean towards Donald Trump, but once we go through 2024 and they see how serious these charges are, and there certainly could be a guilty verdict on at least one of these trials, that's going to change a lot of minds too. So what might seem close, I think, is going to open up significantly as the year goes on. And as you and I've said before, I think Joe Biden is fucking thrilled that Donald Trump is the nominee, and he wants nothing to do with getting rid of him as the nominee. Nothing.
No, absolutely. And the stunt that the Republicans are pulling right now with Mike Johnson saying, like, well, we're not going to tackle immigration until we get a Republican in office is insane, right? Yeah. Like, it's like, because they need it. They need something, but gas prices are down. Inflation is, is not bad. We're doing better than all the other countries. There is nothing for them to complain about. They cannot.
Stock market's up.
Yeah, they can't be like your kitchen table. They can't do that. They cannot do it right now.
Nope.
And they're drowning in it. And you're right. I do think that people are going to coalesce around Biden and,
come to their senses.
Yeah, because between now and time for election, this abortion issue is going to get worse. We just heard about the young woman, Yenny, who died because she didn't get an abortion. There are going to be more women that just have not come out yet, because Yenny died a little while ago, right after Roe, like a few months after Roe, she died.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to die. So there are other women who died that weren't allowed to get abortions, and their family they're trying to get over it, but it's going to come out. It's going to
Yeah.
be worse. There's going to be more mass shootings.
Yeah.
We can say that because we know it's going to happen. It's sad, but it's going to happen, like all of it.
Yeah,
So
and I think a lot of this money is going to go towards obviously those issues that are very, very sensitive to a lot of people. And those issues at the end of the day are going to make the difference. I truly do believe that when it comes down to making a decision, whether you like to do it or not, I still don't understand why you don't like voting for Joe Biden. I mean, unless you are that deep into the Israeli-Palestine issue, which I don't blame you. There's not something that I'm shaming you about being, but we've talked about this before. If you're that deep on that side, that means you are on the side of some part of progressive, politics.
right.
And good luck getting to where you want to get to. If your stance is that strong on, I can't vote for Joe Biden because he's not doing everything that I think
But it's
he
like,
should be doing.
and that's the part that drives me crazy, because it's like, are you listening to what Joe Biden says on this? Like, how can you even think that? You can't be listening to what he or his administration are saying. You can't be Googling his stance on this, because Joe Biden is not out here going, yo, Benji, go on, like, he's not doing that. He's been trying to quell this for the longest and get hostages out. And I think if it wasn't for Biden, those hostages probably wouldn't have been released. I don't think it would have been a pause like this. It wouldn't have happened. So it's just, that's baffling to me. Like, women here are losing their reproductive freedom, and you're stuck over there, which, yes, it's atrocious, but it's atrocious here because women are dying here.
Yeah.
Women are dying.
Yeah, you said it last week. It's easy to research and easy Google, but the problem for them is that politics is way easier. And you brought this up last week with TikTok politics.
Yeah.
So, if TikTok is that readily available and it's a 15, 30-second video that can explain to you what's going on in the world, well, hey, I've got all the information I need now. And that's unfortunately where people are getting their information. And it's really sad, especially the younger people.
Yeah.
That's scary. And that certainly works into the advantage of the Republicans and Donald Trump and all those clowns. But and today, I do believe that we are America is going to make the right decision. I really have no doubt about that. I feel confident about that. Don't get me wrong. Still going to be scary up until the point it actually happens.
Right.
But America will make the right decision. I'm never going to be the guy who goes, well, these are two choices that, I'm not in love with either one of them. I'm in love with Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is a phenomenal president. I think he's done a great job. I don't think any president is ever going to be perfect, but I also do believe
no human is perfect. Right. No human is perfect. But again, we always say this: one side is trying and one side just doesn't care.
Correct.
We talk about the Black vote. The Republican Party in Iowa declined to meet with the Black community, declined to meet at that Black forum. They don't care. They don't. You beat up Joe Biden and say he's not doing enough for the Black community, right? I don't know what enough is, but he's doing some things, right? He done went to Philadelphia like 3 times in 4 years, or 3 times, and 3 times. Is it 4 years? Is this his 4th year of presidency?
Yeah.
So 3 times, right? He's been in Philadelphia 3 times, giving food out to the marginalized. We know he's gone to colleges. We know he's gone to the Black churches. Okay, yeah. I mean, he's out there trying, right? He's lowering Black unemployment. That's at an all-time low. All of these things. Donald Trump and Republicans are doing none of those things. They don't even talk about those things. When's the last time Donald Trump went to a Black college?
Come on.
When's the last time Donald Trump went to a college?
Right. Yeah. To any college.
People. Like, he's not doing any of the things. And then you guys like, well, Biden's not doing enough, when Republican parties are never being held accountable. And that's
Well,
ridiculous.
also look at the differences of look who's being elected to each party. I mean, and we're
Correct.
talking about, again, we've talked about this a million times. The Democratic Party looks like America. It looks,
Correct.
more,
Right.
it looks more like their voters.